So I'm going to first read the two poems from Willow Springs. The first one's called Have an Axis, and to give a little bit of background to it, a top on the Earth has a natural axis of rotation. There is it rotating, but not so in outer space. Anything you don't say can and will be used against you, will be used to benefit you. Are those doppelgangers replicas of you, or do they walk around at night? The phantom hand will have as many fingers as are contemplated. Any personage who can be made of ashes or of atoms can be animated, entertaining those not made of ashes or of atoms yet. Dissatisfied with only 2 degrees of rotation, simply have an axis. Be suspended briefly. How could one not be enamored of an angular momentum when the angular momentum's always watching? As in every state, a state of grace, in theory and in practice, you're a juicy, fruitful isotope and have as many midlife crises as you please. The difference of opinion paradox says truth is always halfway in between. You move the finish and you move the finish, as it's easier to move the finish than the bleacher on which sits the queen. The next poem is called Heatseak. And a little bit of background. In 1962, at the National Future Farmers of America Convention, I ran into 2 characters from the TV serial Gunsmoke in the wings of the stadium. Take a planet, leave a planet. Wanderers abound. There is a precipice in Gilead that only an unplanned event could love. You're fluent in 3 private languages. If you see Doc and Kitty in the wings in heavy makeup, and your personality is printed on an IBM card, God will surely pay you to stand here, subvocalize, and hold your homemade vital sign. Good news, the bifurcation's nigh. You sleep to laugh, to see the bigger picture. There's that mourning dove again. But if a rising tide lifts boats, how would boats know? How would they know they could but run aground? Where are your flying pigs? In orbit? If in orbit, where have their ellipses been? To love or be loved, you'll assign the Heatseak vector a direction. Love is what you may have won already, but may carelessly have thrown the ornate envelope away. Now I'd like to read a poem from Tooth and Shoe, which Polly mentioned, and from the Knowable Emotions. And I want to express my extreme gratitude to Chris Howell for making these 2 volumes possible. So the eponymous poem from Tooth and Shoe. A little bit of background. There's a principle in logic that is translated loosely to English as from a contradiction, you can derive anything. And so my contradiction is the concatenation of tooth and shoe, which are not supposed to go together. You might have nibbled on an earlobe when that earlobe and you both were soft and warm. But now when clowns collide, the comical atomic particles fly off in all directions. Now the universe is largely laughing matter. Guess which shoe the tooth is in, which tooth is in the shoe, and which is tooth and which is shoe, and spin your web of ethics. Close your eyes and feel the dented fender. Be the dented fender. Be the dent. Okay. Next, from the Knowable Emotions, a poem called Asymmetric. A bit of background. When Heloise's relatives discovered that Heloise and Abelard were studying more than the good book, they sent Heloise to the convent, and Abelard was unmanned. At the other altar, Abelard says, "Now I don't. Therefore, what God has put asunder, let no man or woman or third person join." A hammer rotates, peen and claw and handle in slow motion by my window on the freeway. On the freeway, when a flower over one ear means 1,000 nights of bliss, the other come within 10 feet of me and die.